Hello, I'm Arthur Perkins. This is Apgamingreal. It's been a couple weeks since we've done anything. If you skipped watching Mobile Frame Zero Firebrands, then, you skipped that. If not, then you missed Mobile Frame Zero Firebrands and go back one episode and watch it. We were going to do Made RPG, but then we didn't. Next time Mick disappears, we'll do it. I have more announcements, and I have a whole list of retractions. As you might know, sometimes I say things. Occasionally, they're wrong, and I must issue retractions. After the skip introduction point, aka right when we're about to get started playing, I will issue all of my retractions and upcoming news. But just in case this is for some reason your first time watching, welcome. Instead of watching us play D&D and move our miniatures around, we're going to watch the guy right above me do art of their characters in the D&D game we're playing. If you would like to watch that D&D game, please feel free to use the multi-Twitch to head over to PlanetKhaos Arts Twitch and watch it there. Because he's got all of that stuff. He'll put it up on YouTube. If you want to see the, the little pieces move around and all that shit, if that's your D&D, then that's where you do it. But for me, I'm running an experimental art show. Speaking of the person that pitched this show to me, let me pitch it over to conorhughes.
Hey everybody, what's up?
Connor, you appear to have a giant light in your face.
Yes, I do. I don't know if anyone's going to want to see this, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Another streamer, Ciarca LaRue, printed it up for me. It's like laser etched, and it's actually a coaster that we had for our Kickstarter at one point. And then lights up and then changes colors. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, I don't know.
Freaking laser beams, man.
Freaking laser beams, man.
From their heads.
So yeah, that was a cool thing. Yeah. And otherwise, my name is conorhughes. I make comics. I'm currently streaming generally during the week, and it's a new thing. It's a thing that I can't talk about, but I can show you guys, so that's kind of cool. And it's been pretty exciting because it's a different thing, other than the other thing, which is White Ash.
Connor, I wanted to talk about White Ash with you for a second, just to
yes.
You.
Uh-oh.
Look, here's what occurred to me. All right, it's a little upsetting.
Uh-oh.
It occurs to me that I'm gonna get your PDF version of White Ash, at some point. I assume soon-ish.
Very soon, yeah.
Okay, then. For me, I was timing it out today. When I read manga and comics, it takes me less than a minute to get through a page. Really, it takes me about 10 to 15 seconds. And then I watch you on stream. You spend hours perfectly doing each panel before moving on. Now, I haven't seen you typeset anything. I have, however, seen you write backstories before, so I assume it takes you several hours to redo 2 or 3 sentences until it's, English.
Well, I don't write White Ash, of course. Charlie, luckily, does that, and you all saved the graces of that. I mean, the thing I wrote for you though, that was. I mean, I should have edited it down, but that was half.
Connor, it's okay. Connor, I'm making very cheap and easy jokes at your expense.
Oh, I'm an easy target for those.
All I want to say is I feel really bad because I'm gonna know that you put hundreds of hours in a White Ash, and I'm probably going to finish it in 10 minutes, and then I'm going to be like, all right, can't wait to read the rest of the story.
That's exactly how it works. I mean, look, I'm just as merciless when I go through, especially manga. You go through those a little bit faster. Yeah, sometimes I barely look at the image. That's just the first time I'm going through it. That's just the fact, because if you're interested in the story, you're just kind of okay, just tell me what's going on.
I mean, even when a manga has good art, I'm never oh, this is a fucking masterpiece. I want to spend 20 minutes looking at it. I'm just oh man, that was really cool. All right, I'm out.
Yeah, I guess that basically answers the question, what's more important, the art or the writing, right? And it's just, apparently it's the writing. So, yeah, I mean, that's, I accept that. That's fine. I mean, if you take a look at, say, animation for a TV show, I mean, there are multiple artists that spend hundreds and hundreds of hours on those, and you spend 20 minutes watching that. So relatively speaking, probably the amount of hours versus reading time or experiencing time, it's a little bit higher relative to the hours again for a comic.
I mean, for something like Endgame, they spent years and years making it, and we watch an hour and a half of it, 2 hours maybe.
3 hours.
3 hours long.
3 hours.
Fall asleep.
I haven't seen it yet. Okay.
Technically, they spent years making Infinity War and the other one because they went back to back. Right, they filmed both movies at the same time. They just released them at a different time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then there's
It's funny because they were like, we didn't realize Thanos is going to be so compelling. We didn't realize that the general public was so sociopathic that they identified with him and his mad quest to kill half of all humans everywhere.
It's a question.
We thought of recasting him in a more sympathetic light, but then we realized we were done filming, so...
I could have told him that.
Yeah, that's just the way it goes, though, for comic artists. Hey, Shoe Thief.
It shows how much work goes into a comic book, and you just don't, you take it for granted. You read it for whatever, a few minutes, but so many man hours go into it.
Honestly, I mean, you could say that about most things, right? Like, anything that you're using.
Remember this show, how the first episode took 2 months of planning? For you guys, it was just waiting for me to get done, and for me, it was like, everything is terrible.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you spend hours prepping the show every week, and we don't see that, and we don't always necessarily think about it.
Prepping the show, as if I do any prep for this show. I wrote down more introduction material than I did notes for tonight's show.
Yeah, but when it's a full-on rap, it counts. Like that's.
Oh my! Look, that rap took like an hour and a half to write, and then I spoken word timed it so it'd be 90 seconds long, so that the last line about it being 90 seconds long would be true.
Don't
So good. See, we all put lots of effort into these things. That's what a labor of love is.
I guess my labor of love is going to be sticking my foot up your ass tonight. I don't know. I'm totally on tonight. I apologize. I don't know why.
You just have a thing for Kaz tonight. I don't know.
I mean, destroying Kaz is my life's work, really.
It's a noble and valiant goal.
Surprising he hasn't ended up dead yet. I mean, considering all the bad decisions he makes.
I mean, name one bad decision he's ever
falling into a
made.
trap that he already knew about.
That's, I wasn't going to say anything, but it was funny. So
I played up for humor,
There's a question here, Mick.
I still feel like you did it on purpose.
There's a question in chat as to what exactly you are drawing.
Oh, this thing? I don't actually know what this particular thing is, but it's.
He hasn't figured it out yet, but someday he will.
Mosaic.
Oh,
don't worry. I'll have to figure it out. I'll have to be like, let me re-describe the mosaic and let me tell you about the celestial temple of the dwarves. It looks exactly like this thing Mick's drawn.
I know you've already drawn the characters, but it'd be funny if Kaz was falling in like a hole or a trap of some kind.
Right,
that's on the back side of the album cover, The track list.
I mean, I am leading the group, so it makes sense.
Well,
there you go.
Leading is a very...
Well, they're going forward, right? So he's in the front. So that's what I mean by leading.
Okay. Well, since the last time we played, there's been some changes to Roll20 as well. You might notice that the health bars actually show the numbers now.
Oh, I should probably log in.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's super weird. Apparently, for some reason, Runa has more health than she could possibly have. She's at 28 out of 20. Connor, I interrupted your intro. You got anything else to throw at me?
No, I thought that was pretty full as far as intros go for me.
Okay.
So I'll kick it over. Bearded, what's going on with you?
Nothing much. Just spent the week redoing the interior of our new place, so I'm exhausted. Putting up drywall. I figured out how to make a shower, like the outside wall for a shower, so that was pretty fun. I painted. I poured concrete. So it's been a really good learning week for me.
All that other stuff is fun. Painting
is the worst, but it's got to get done.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot of cool stuff today that wasn't art related. So
yeah, I got to break up some concrete. Any tips?
I didn't do so much breaking. I did more making. So if you need anybody to make you some concrete, I can definitely help you.
So I can fly you out to here to New Jersey.
What concrete are you breaking up?
Oh no.
Is it a sidewalk?
Yeah, it's a sidewalk.
Oh, yeah.
You just don't like those kids walking on your
Yeah.
sidewalk?
Yeah, so I break it, so they just trip up every single time, and they don't sue me, and it works out well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let me know how that works out.
I'm sorry. I heard New Jersey, and I spaced out because my hatred of New Jersey caused me to reflexively want to vomit.
Oh, please.
Got him.
You're riding on our coattails down there.
I have to fucking drive through New Jersey for my vacation on Saturday. It's gonna be infuriating.
What
I'm
part
gonna
are you
need a
leaving from?
vacation just to get to the other side.
You leave from Philadelphia?
That's what I
Delaware, northern Delaware, and the cruise is going out of New York City. I'm gonna head up to the Weehawken ferry and then ferry over and go past the Independence.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sounds
could take a train.
very good trip.
Well, all right. You know what? New Jersey Transit isn't awful. The train system is not as bad as the rest of the state.
Hey, look, you gotta come through my part of the woods. It's nice. It's nice here, all right?
I mean, I have to go through every part of the woods because Delaware is on the southern end of New Jersey and New York City's on the northern end of New Jersey.
He's right, though.
Yeah, but I'm on the west side of New Jersey, so it's pretty nice.
Yeah, but I have to go through. It's not like New Jersey's that wide.
Yeah, but you're still not in my
You could
area.
probably walk from one. Okay, well, you couldn't walk from one end to the other. It only
small.
takes about an hour and a half drive to go down the fucking what Atlantic State Parkway? What's the one that runs from Philadelphia to Atlantic City?
Well, that's like sort of through, like that's going across New Jersey. It's not really that
Right,
far.
exactly. It only takes about an hour and a half to go from one side of New Jersey to the other that way.
West
I
Philadelphia.
mean, you're comparing that like to Delaware. Delaware is like what?
Yeah,
like,
Delaware doesn't have to be that big. We have 0% sales tax.
Okay,
we got you guys
Delaware
fucking
East Coast
crushed.
State.
Hey,
The
can you
only
guys
thing
still hear me?
I know about New Jersey
Yeah, we can hear you.
is that
My computer
everything
froze up. I'll be back.
All
is
right.
legal in New
We'll have to
Jersey.
redo cameras.
This will take a while. Freaking frack.
It's all right. We all know these technical problems. Bearded, we were
Yeah.
doing your intro before
Yeah, we
Connor
were.
mentioned the loathe state.
Thanks, Connor. Yeah, but besides that, I'm gonna probably get into streaming in about a month from now once we finish. So, look for updates on my Twitter at beardedjalapno and on my.
Yeah, I started following you on Twitter. I'm slowly following all of you on Twitter and on Twitch. I probably should have done it all at once, but now I just kind of just wait until Connor hosts one of you, and then or Mick hosts one of you.
it's a good plan.
Are you enjoying having more space at the new place?
Ooh, so much.
Yeah.
Like now that there's no furniture in it, we're just like doing the walls and stuff. There's so much space because my apartment right now is like 200 square feet, and we're moving in to almost 2,000 square foot place. So much room for activities.
All right, so look
Yeah.
up Weehawkeners. Okay, I don't park in New Jersey. This is how it goes down. Whenever one of us goes on a cruise, the other one drives. So when I go on a cruise, my mom drives me to Weehawken. When she goes on a cruise, I drive her to Weehawken. It's basically like a suicide pact to drive through New Jersey and then take 3 hours back through New Jersey. It's like eternal damnation that only lasts 3 hours.
Damn.
Because parking at the Weehawken ferry is like $15 a day, and that ain't happening. Yeah,
Damn.
Please, that's nothing.
It's
I've
like
seen
San Francisco levels.
yeah, it's bad.
the parking around here is crazy. I think I paid $15 just for a few hours at the Princeton train station.
Oh, Princeton! Come on now, you don't even fucking play about Princeton, man.
Play. I'm not
Everything's
playing.
more expensive in Princeton. They're like, we're the greatest people that were ever invented.
Yeah, they are pretty
We're the
smart.
socialites of the United States. We're like New York City, but slightly better. We're
Yeah.
Princeton.
They do have an attitude.
Yeah.
Plus, they have no good Indian food anymore. They used to have good Indian restaurants, but now there's none. It's a shame.
Don't worry, we picked them up for you. No problem.
Yeah.
Oh no, we got you, brother. We got you.
Yeah, because I like some good Indian.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, you got to go all the way down to Dover or Rehoboth to pick them up, but I think it's called Taste of India in Dover. It'd be quite a drive for you, but Is it worth it? Probably not.
Hey, we have a Taste of India in Bentonville over here.
Is it good?
I don't know. I've never eaten there.
No, it's not good.
It's
Do you know where Vic is?
stereotype
Down.
exists for a reason. And like, I think all of the Indian places we have here are because of Walmart's IT department.
Okay.
Okay.
So, what's going on with you, Mick?
Yeah, Mick, tell us more about that and who you are as a person. And do you still kill dogs?
I mean, only if I'm bored.
Wow, I didn't hear any of this. I'm just gonna pretend.
PDFs that only take 10 seconds to read. You should have received a PDF from me recently. So how did you enjoy those 10 seconds?
What are you talking about? I didn't get shit from you.
Didn't?
Yeah. I want my product from you, brother.
I know why.
My name should be in there. It should say AP Gaming Real. I'm going to read the whole thing, and then I'm going to stop on my name and be like, that's right. That's my name. It's in a book now. My name's in several books.
Mine should say bearded jalapno.
Oh, it's this one. All right. I know what I did wrong.
Good one. So, Mick, for all those angry fans who haven't gotten your PDFs, where can they find you on the social media?
I wouldn't say I'm angry. I didn't know that I didn't have it, so now I'm disappointed.
I'm known as Mccomicker on the social medias, including, but not limited to, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. It actually is limited to that. Like, those are, and I barely use 2 out of 3 of those. But I draw comics tonight. I'm drawing a group shot for the game. So not comics, but usually I draw comics. And usually I draw comics on Twitch, but I've been really phoning it in the last couple weeks, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. I'll be honest. Evie's only in school for 2 more weeks, and I'm just doing nothing. It's been awful. It's like I'm already on vacation, but I'm not.
You could argue this is just one giant establishing shot.
Yep.
It's true.
Or it could be a double-page splash.
Ooh.
Yeah, there it is. This is a spread I've been slaving over. So
appreciate it, folks. Right here. This is where it's at.
Send me your, I don't think I have your email, AP.
My email? You could get it from Connor. I'm actually looking at this, the first email I got from Connor. Where he did like this whole panel of this dwarven story that he was like, give me like a premise, and I gave it to him, and then I never heard from him again. And then out of nowhere, months later, I got this, like almost a year later, I got this thing where he was like, want to do an artist collab thing, and I was like, you know what? I do. What's my email? That's a great question. By the way, I'm not giving you my personal email, but did you know that you can find me at apgamingreal@gmail.com?
Gmail.com?
Damn.
Good.
No. apgamingreal. It's so easy to remember, especially when you like follow somebody new and they're like APG aiming real. Up gaming real. And I'm like, no, it's just, I understand it'll be difficult.
Why must you do this to me, people?
Tuatha, thank you for the cheer.
You clearly have an email. It should be in your inbox. You must have just missed it when you were, checking your email earlier.
Mick, I don't think I got one either.
So. Oh, you're talking about, oh shit. I mean, on your Kickstarter, I use my personal email.
No, I just sent it to AP Gaming Real.
Well, I don't have it on either. Oh no, here we go, Mick. It's New Comic Day. I never got this email, Mick. I think you might want to double check your procedures and make sure everybody got this shit.
I feel pretty good about my copy paste.
You are receiving pencil art PDFs of the book as well as a map and 5e compatible character sheets. Oh man, did you go full nerd with this?
I mean, so I had those character sheets as my stretch goal, and I think I undersold the connection. I didn't really push it as like, I mean, because it's semi based on like D&D role playing concepts, but I did never sell it as D&D adjacent as I should have.
So let me throw this at you.
Or just kind of meh. Well, yeah. Let me hear it.
You say that you're not. You say you're not working on a comic right now. But let me throw this at you. What if the show became a comic?
I mean, I am working on a comic. I'm just not working on a comic like.
But you could turn this show into a comic. All right.
But yeah, we could turn this show.
So real quick, I think we gotta have Mick turn his camera on and off, and everyone should pop back into place.
Do I need to stop sharing?
No, just your camera.
Just my camera.
We'll see if that works. If not, I might have to do some quick swapping.
Stop video.
It did not work. That's fine. You can turn your camera back on.
Start video.
I will have to swap it again next week. So, oh, that's right. I won't be here next week. All right. So let me follow up and ask one more question, Mick.
Yes. Let me.
If Evie's out in 2 weeks, does that mean that your commitment ends in 2 weeks, and then we won't see you again until the end of summer?
Let me look at the calendar. So
that's great, because we need to figure out when that Starts Without Numbers game is starting. It's not clear to me, but I want to get it down on the calendar.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Next week.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
So excited.
I'm out next week, so you guys can show up, but I won't be here.
I'm out next week too, so
Cool. So just give us your information for your Twitch. We'll just,
I mean, I could give you my
now.
Twitch key. I wouldn't, but I could.
The
It is possible.
Let me tell you about a fucking nightmare situation. One of the other Twitch streamers I've been working with, Eric Pulgaris, he moved away from doing Twitch streaming directly overall to doing production for other shows, and ended up doing production for a show that wound up on the D&D official channel, twitch.tv/D&D.
Mm-hmm.
And so he got their stream key, and one day he forgot to swap over. He got so much shit streaming his personal stuff on the D&D channel.
Ooh.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why even if I had the option, I would never give anyone my Twitch key.
I wouldn't ask for it.
I wouldn't tell.
Hey, what's your Twitch?
Well,
key?
I wouldn't ask.
I'll run the game next week.
My Twitch key is, ready for this? Lowercase f 78 uppercase G _umlaut U. Sorry, I converted all my Twitch keys to Tolkien speak.
You're gonna have to get a new keyboard, Mick. Attempt that.
You can't even do the umlaut.
Nope.
All right, Mick, we're working on a calendar from you to figure out.
Oh, yeah, it could be a longer conversation. So the week after, so you're gone next week. The week after that is when our plane is supposed to come back in, and we're supposed to fly in like in 2 p.m, right? So theoretically, the timing should be fine. And
So
then
the 21st, you're saying?
The 21st, I am 92% confident in.
92% confident you can be here?
Yeah.
All right. It's the week after that? Is that when you're gone forever?
No, I think the week after that will be good, because I think her last day of school is then the next day, that Wednesday.
So we're saying the 4th is when we do the Stars of the Ember swap then. June 4th.
June 4th could be, yeah.
Okay. Why aren't you excited to keep playing with Mick? You just like get Mick the fuck out of here so he could Stars Without Numbers already. Somebody's way too excited to be a robot.
You know what? I'll just leave now, and you guys can do Stars Without Numbers today.
No. Well,
Please
we
don't.
can't. Cotton's not here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cotton's your replacement. We call her New Mortrick.
We really like this new name.
Way better than old
We
Mortrick.
took a vote.
That doesn't surprise me.
Got anything else before we hop over to our last man?
No, I feel like we've been talking about me too much anyway.
I don't know. You know, that's weird to hear from you. I feel like you're the kind of person that would say, we haven't been talking about me enough.
I mean, I feel like
Mick
Mortrick is that way, but
I might just be more tricking right now.
Mick the person is humble, considerate, Soft spoken.
Are you though?
I recall you saying some very passive aggressive stuff about your players.
Hey, speaking of which, we had that conversation.
Did it work out?
I mean, was it as much fun as being passive aggressive for weeks on end? No, but it did probably work better this way.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Why do you got to make everything less fun? What? I think my dog is dying.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for, is to make everything less fun.
Hey, you okay over there, buddy? Okay, yeah. Yeah, we're done talking about me.
All right. Speaking of someone who we need to check on and see if they're okay over there. Ugh, that would have been better if I hadn't messed it up.
Yeah.
Shep, how's it going? Your computer died. Now you're back from outer space.
Yeah. So if you know Max, you can have multiple desktops, and I was switching from one desktop to the other, and it froze on me. So sorry about that long delay. So, but I'm PlanetKhaos art on Twitch and Instagram. That's all I'm going to say this week. Let's get this game rolling.
Are you streaming now? It seems like you're not streaming now.
Maybe I didn't turn it on. Yep. So I will make sure it's on.
I'm going to relink that multi-Twitch link just in case you want to watch both at the same time. Maybe mute one of us, leave the other open, that kind of deal, that kind of thing. All right, so let me write down the time so we know where the people are skipping to, the ones who don't want to watch introductions anyway. I have some retractions to issue, as I mentioned earlier. Let me put on my glasses so I can hide my lying eyes. Retraction number 1. Zonalar from episode 1 and 2. I mentioned him briefly. He might be a furry artist, but he does not draw male furry penises. So do not go to him for that. Retraction number 2. Ratasaurus makes great overlays. If there's a Ratasaurus overlay and it doesn't look good, that is because I ruined it with my malefic touch. I am truly lord of lack of style and destruction. Retraction number 3. Earlier this week, I was like, hey guys, look at this cool program. Maybe we can use it. Connor had, in fact, suggested we use it early on, but I wasn't sure how to implement it. And I decided against doing complicated stuff until now. So technically, it's Connor's idea. It's Connor's program. If it fails, it's all Connor's fault.
Draw piles is not my priority. I mean, I wish, you know.
But in 2 weeks, when I'm back, when we're all back, we're going to attempt a draw pile stream. And we'll see if we can all draw in one pile with no layers. So there's going to be a lot of control-ing.
It's going to be a pile, all right.
Yeah.
Finally, Sunspirit is a professional artist. I mentioned briefly he wasn't a professional artist. He is. I just don't consider him a professional artist because he won't accept my money. He will accept other people's money, however, and does do work for corporations and people. All right, so as I briefly mentioned...
Number 1. Does he draw furry vulvas? Or is that a door that only swings one direction?
That's Zonalar, and if you want to know more about that, you can go talk to him on Discord. I am not his agent, and I don't want to know anything about your preferences or his preferences. I already know way too much. As I mentioned, we'll be playing Stars to the Numbers Revised in the immediate future. Starting in probably June, Mick will be taking off for a month or 2. Cottontailed will be joining us for that. I'm still not completely clear on how we're doing things because I was like, let me line out how the show might go, and the only person who got back to me was Connor. I assume that if I say anything at all, Bearded will immediately go, sounds great, let's get started immediately.
Yeah, that's pretty much
So
me.
I really need to hear back from...
I did read it.
I read it too. Sounded awesome.
Okay, then I just need to hear back from Cotton. Speaking of Cottontailed, friend of the show, Cottontailed, who has guested on this show and will be Mick guesting, will be replacing Mick temporarily, although technically no one can really replace Mick.
Cottontail can.
Well, no, I don't know that we want her to replace Mick. I think we want Cottontailed to be Cottontailed and not be fake Mick.
Yeah.
She's undergoing heart surgery over the next few days. They will be taking a deadly heat ray and firing it into her heart. So if you pray, if you send out good energies, if you have any leftover luck, go send it her way. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, anything more than 24 hours later, it'll already be over. So do whatever the fuck you want with all of your shit there. Take your luck and stick it, okay? Give it to me. Give it to me. I need it. Previously on this show, a Zorn showed up and was wrecking everybody's face off. And then all of you were like, not today. That is what I say to the god of death, not today. And naked Mortrick managed to turn everything around. Actually, he didn't really have much to do with it. The fight turned around. And you defeated the Zorn. You attempted to look for any treasure that the Zorn had left behind, repeatedly making investigation and perception checks, but found nothing, because your rolls were not so great. You then camped out, but were interrupted in the night by some sort of snuffling noise and something bumping against the door. Rather than attempt to deal with it, you went back to sleep. Eventually, the noise left. You later found out it was a starving polar bear, which Kazador incorrectly identified as a fiendish demon type and bashed its skull into death before anyone could react.
That's right.
The rest of the party, disgusted with Kazador, having correctly identified it as a polar bear, left him in the dust and went further ahead into the dwarven underbelly. Finding some more dwarven writing that went from the top of the wall all the way down to the bottom at only inch-tall font. The story of this particular hold, the Shrine of Laos, began to make itself available, and the dwarves' incredible propensity for contracts and minutia and law became apparent. I want to say sculpture, let's call it, well, the art that Mick is working on right now is inspired by the four of them walking past these beautiful pieces of art that I described.
It's a bas relief, right?
Oh, bas relief. Yeah, that's a really great word.
Yeah, no.
The party encountered something. They didn't identify it, but fortunately the audience is able to identify it as a Nothic. Encountered a small, squat creature, capable, former wizard, that had become some sort of cursed and damned thing, capable of attempting to draw their secrets out of their bodies. They kept their secrets inside by continuously denying the creature. It passed along some information in exchange for the exit, and then was promptly killed shortly after when Kazador led it into a trap.
That he didn't fall into.
It's true. He sent someone else to do it. Kazador wanted to investigate the so-called toilet demon, but never made it there. The rest of the party went north along a branch and encountered some sort of noise of speaking behind a door, choosing to ignore it, and rather than open the door, they returned, and the whole party translated itself down into what turned out to be a dwarven classroom.
Oh, yeah.
Their brave party rogue failed to find, but did, well, let's call it disarm a trap that had gone off on a door. A deadly trap that probably could have easily killed a child on the door behind the teacher's desk. I'm recalling some of you have taken things from the...
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Those books, right? The history
yes, you took some history books. I took a book by Gord Romper Stomper as well, the second book by Gord Romper Stomper. And specifically, Runa took a journal from one of the desks.
One of the kids, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I got a history of the Shrine of Laos.
Laos, yes.
Yeah, Laos.
So, just as a quick reminder, it occurs to me I don't have any of my stuff open. Why don't you guys maybe talk for like 2 minutes while I get all my shit open?
Perfect, Mick. You got your time now. Have you done any more, spoken word stuff? Worked on your material for the next time you screwed up?
My God, that's so hostile. Jesus.
It's been a couple weeks, guys. Okay, I have to get the shit
about being passive aggressive. Come on.
Yeah, Bearded, you could go less than 100% here for once.
Just want
I
to
think
trigger that
Mortrick's gonna say
PTSD before
crying in a
we
corner
start.
somewhere.
This is why she meditates.
Yeah.
It's not like some kind of soothing experience for her. This is just how she returns back to normal.
Yeah. This is what she does when she doesn't want to just yell out at Mortrick for doing stupid shit.
Well, I think, guys, we have a duty here to at least clear out some of the things in these tunnels. I want to go back and take a look at that toilet demon.
I bet you would have forgot about that toilet demon if I didn't remind you.
Nope, I had exactly a plan to do this.
Okay.
I have a plan for how I might do this.
All right, so let me remind you what the various parts of the room looks like. The door that Rik-Jaxx is standing in front of, I'm going to draw here, but then I'm going to erase it later. This particular door over here is the door you came through. It is a stone door that can be pushed into the wall. It's currently unlocked and open. There's a trap door located right here. It had some sort of deadly poison from like a finger pricking device on the door handle. It is also a stone door. There's an open archway here that seems to lead back to the trap room where you recently killed a Nothic. There's a stone door over here that you have not investigated. There's a iron door down here that appears to be locked from the other side. There's a stone door down here, and that's it.
Okay.
So I'm thinking let's open the trap door because usually interesting things are
Let's let
trapped.
Connor go first.
Who is this Connor you speak of?
Kazador.
I don't know.
Go with Kaz.
Look, Rik-Jaxx, if you want to inspect that door, feel free. I'm going to stand over here. Are you sure you didn't?
He's gonna wait to know there is a trap before he blunders blindly into it.
No, I got this. I got this. I'm going to bring forth my mage hand to see if I can go open the door.
Yep, you open the door. The door, you push it sideways and the door slides open. There's kind of a rumble to it. On the far side of the door, it's immediately apparent that it's some sort of celebratory area. So the walls are incorrectly curved in here. If you'll remember, the Zorn was capable of reshaping this area and moving the stone. So the writing in some places is stretched out improperly, where the wall must have been flexing one way, it's now flexing in the opposite way. But with Kazador's help translating real quick, it looks like opening this door must have been the final test for dwarves in order to graduate. Because there's several emblems here that are like, congratulations, you're now a full member of the Shrine of Laos. Welcome to Clan Laos. You know, like you've passed the final test, breaking into the teacher's lounge.
Do you share that information with us?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over to Rik-Jaxx, clap him on the shoulder, be like, "Good job, man! Like, how does it feel to be a member of what was it again, Kaz?
The Shrine of Laos.
Congratulations! Not even Kaz is a member of the Shrine of Laos because he didn't open this door, and he probably wouldn't have been able to figure it out anyway.
It's fate.
Yeah,
So,
I wouldn't be up to any of that trickery. Thank you, Rik-Jaxx.
Do you get anything for being a member of the Shrine of Laos?
I think
Besides
there's a badge, right?
Bragging rights.
bragging rights, and I pulled out for that badge.
There actually is an emblem of the Shrine of Laos, which is embedded in the wall. You recognize it from the bas relief you saw earlier. It's the warhammer of Laos being held aloft.
Excellent.
Kind of like what Mick's drawing.
Yeah, kind of like what Mick's drawing.
All right. So I'm going in stealth mode, and I'll just start heading up the hall just to get
So
a look.
it rapidly becomes clear to you that as you go around that corner, where the teacher's lounge should have been has gone, and a whole different area has been reattached to here. Instead of like smooth walls with lots of writing, it's kind of craggy and unfinished. This is not dwarven work stone by any means. It looks like a natural cave. However, there are like pieces of almost cloth or paper. It's not super clear looking at them, but they're folded into a zigzag and they hang from the ceiling with dwarven runes on them. And as you continue to move around that corner and deeper, it curves on itself and is starting to descend. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this as well. Arosida wasn't able to make it tonight, but in 2 weeks he believes he'll be available. He is 2 weeks behind on his current work, as he's a full-time graphics designer.
I thought, is he going to draw as well, or?
He's not confident in his ability to play D&D and draw at the same time.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, Rik-Jaxx, so as you keep peeking around the corner, you see it kind of spiraling down further. But it has creepily switched from this beautiful crown-molded dwarven stonework filled with writing and pictures to craggy, unrefined stone.
You think you're safe, Rik-Jaxx? Keep an eye on your feet.
Mind the gap.
Hey, mind the gap. What do you see down the hall? I think.
We lose him again?
Yeah, I think we.
Yeah, he,
Donegan is gone again.
It's frozen.
the darkness ate him.
Rik-Jaxx, no!
And then I kick Kaz in.
Just some technical problems tonight, but that's okay. We don't play this game to be the most technically proficient stream in history. That's for sure. So, everybody, how are your kids?
Everyone's learning how to crawl.
Has allergies.
Allergies? That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
I like how both dads immediately are just like,
Yeah.
I want to talk about immediately talk about the kids. I guess I technically did ask, but I didn't know you were going to talk about your kids. Oh shit, we got him back.
Yes.
Sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on tonight.
What'd you see down the hall?
So I'm going to go back and relay to these guys, about the cave that looks roughly hewn and spiraling down.
Anyone inside?
No one yet. So it's still a mystery to me.
This place is a mystery within mysteries.
Living in a mystery.
Seems to be one of our only way outs. Shall we see what's ahead?
I'm still interested. I think we need to clear the path for travelers that might be going through this area, and I want to check out that water demon.
What? They're at the park. Just settle. Hey, Gromit.
You know the water demon has a toilet in front of its name?
What are you afraid, Runa?
No, but I'd
So-
rather not fight a toilet.
Well, if we leave him there, we're only going to leave him for other travelers to come upon, and
We could always make it to the end and fight him later.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, I don't know how concerned I am about other travelers, considering you already sent one random, allegedly innocent monster we encountered down here to their death. Now you're gonna be precious about who you murder off screen?
is he is he a monster or is he innocent? I thought I was trying to.
You could be an innocent monster. Don't
Yeah,
be
have you
judgy.
seen Hotel Transylvania?
I don't know if you guys have ever
Monsters.
played the Fate series, but Innocent Monster is literally the worst fucking skill you can have. It's a negative skill that's given to people who are viewed incorrectly by history, like Frankenstein's monster or Hans Christian Andersen, and typically means that you're fucking doomed whenever you use the skill.
It's the worst of both worlds.
Yeah.
Doom is actually a really good skill in Final Fantasy, though.
Yes. Well, it's questionable.
I mean,
It's better in tactics than it is in any of the other games.
Yeah. 3 turns, man. You got 3 turns. Anyway.
Well, I mean, in the Final Fantasy General Series, Doom is like L3 Doom, and you just die if you're level divided by 3. But
Yeah, but
most
it's
of the
only for
bosses
the-
are immune to it, and most strong monsters are immune to it as well.
Exactly. So it's kind of
Also,
like,
it'll work on your own team, so if you accidentally are divisible by 3 or 5 or 2, you'll kill yourself.
calculator style.
Oh god, calculator. Fucking love it. It's the worst. It's the actual worst. So what's the plan here?
Come on, group leader. Pick away.
I think I want to take out that water demon. I got a rope.
So he's like, we
The
could go
Gotham.
deeper into this cave, but I'd rather leave this room and go back.
You and your bloody rope.
Like, we're actually in this cave to make it safer, to reinvigorate trade, and provide a job for our former pirate friend, correct?
You are. I
That's
can't
right.
believe you remembered that, but yes, your former pirate friend.
Inspiration of Mick.
He's
But
our
let me ask
current
real quick,
pirate
Mick. Do you
friend.
remember your former pirate friend's name?
I remember he has an adorable daughter.
That's
who
true.
Is
Do you remember his first name?
he is Captain Latte?
Captain Leandro Espresso.
Leandro Espresso. It's basically a latte.
It's not latte cilantro.
I mean, I remember that he needs a job, and I think that's good enough.
Well, he needs to not be summarily executed for
Yeah,
smuggling
that too.
Yeah.
piracy. After that, he'll need a job.
Many things need to happen.
Because the ship got taken from him, and it's basically your guys' fault.
Not my fault.
Well, that's going a bit far.
You're right. It's actually directly Kazador's fault.
Yep.
Hey, it's the emperor's fault. I mean, that's their order. You know, they're doing those things.
Always blaming it on the man, huh, Connor?
Yeah, I mean, they did the thing.
He wouldn't have been in that situation if you hadn't insisted that you go to the Empire. In fact, you weren't even going to the Empire at first. You just thought, which is the shorter path? I want to go there. Rik-Jaxx, you're like running around in circles with your token. Are you just constantly running down to look at the cave and then coming back talking to Kazador? Kaz is like, I got some rope. I want to go fight a toilet demon. You're like, I'm going to go check the cave again.
Yeah,
So
Rik-Jaxx is kind of moving on. So
So glad
When
he's
you reach
leaving.
this particular area, the cave levels out, and suddenly there are way more of these streamer things coming from the ceiling. And you can kind of see that it starts to become, if not perfectly smoothed out, the stone at the end of the hallway here starts getting worked. Perhaps not in the dwarven style. It's not perfect and wrought and covered and sigilling, but maybe in a more human or even gnomish style. It's simply smooth and easier to walk on, and not filled with random rocks.
Yeah.
all right, interesting. So, seeing as how Kazador is right behind me, I'll whisper to him, let him know what I'm seeing, and move forward. Do we have the rest of the group following behind?
Yes.
Okay.
Rik-Jaxx, as you round that corner, you suddenly stop and instinctively take a step back and then look around it again. In this intersection, there is a warhammer that is in a pile of bones. It looks as if dozens, perhaps hundreds of people have been piled up into this intersection. The things of significant note are that the warhammer is in like a pile of cracked bones. And there's also a skeleton that's still mostly intact. It's one of the only ones that's still mostly intact, several feet away. They have a sheathed silver sword. So, sorry, the sheath is silvered and very reflective, stuck through where their heart would be, and their arms are holding on to it. And that's how their skeleton has fallen on their knees, the sword holding them in place as they try to pull the sword out. And their skeleton frozen in that particular position. Looking
Silver,
at this warhammer and the pile of bones, you immediately recognize it as the warhammer of Laos.
All right, so I'll
Because your
relay
passive perception is pretty good. Well, it's all right.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's not the
better
best.
than average, yeah. Okay, so I'll relay that to the guys behind, and go inspect Well, I'll come around the corner cautiously. Anything else that I need to be worried about?
You see traps there, Rik-Jaxx. Be careful.
It's a trap.
I mean, are you looking for traps? Are you like feeling around for traps?
You
How
find a trap in
quickly
a
are you
castle.
advancing? Are you just like walking forward and trusting in your instincts? Are you creeping forward very slowly?
I would say in general, I'm creeping forward, but I'm not actively looking for traps. I'll be honest. So.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you don't see any particular traps. You do get a pretty weird feeling coming from both the warhammer and the sword.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow.
So as you reach that intersection, right, there's no longer any flat space to walk on. Everything is bones here.
Okay.
As you're looking at the bones, there has to be at least a dozen or more creatures that have died and had their corpses scattered here.
Any way of guesstimating the race of the creatures?
Make a medicine check.
All right.
Them bones, do 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 do, something, something, do 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 do. Let me turn the creepy music back on. Wow, okay, that's a 19 on the die, so yeah. The creatures make a mix. So the one that has the sword stuck through its heart, the sword sheath stuck through its heart, is a half-elf based on the skeleton. There are no dwarves here, but there are some drow, some gnomes, some humans, and at least one orc.
Plenty trying to steal dwarven secrets, huh?
So as you approach Kazador, you start feeling a pounding in your head. As you look at the hammer, it's like you can't hear anything else.
So I'm drawn. Am I drawn to it?
Yeah,
or
I'd like
is
you
it
to make a
fear?
charisma save real quick.
Okay.
You're able to resist the call of the hammer somewhat. You pull yourself together. You recognize that this thing is communicating to you, not on like a verbal level, but emotionally. The hammer wants you to pick it up. But you're concerned. You're worried. Your mind actively recognizes that there is a field of dead people around the hammer who look like their bodies have been shattered by a hammer.
But they're not dwarves.
But they are not dwarves. That's
Yep.
correct.
I'm
Must
gonna.
mean something.
Can I take a look around on the walls? Like, is there any? I forget. Sorry. Is there any writing on the walls?
There is not. So the walls
Okay.
here are very smooth. There's no stonework or anything of the sort. It looks like someone prepared this place to be further carved and then just didn't do the work.
Okay.
Just like a dwarf to leave when this stuff's half done.
Mortrick isn't even in the room. According to this, Mortrick and Runa are upstairs in back at the desks, like sitting down reading journals and keeping Mortrick's mage lights flashing around.
Can I try and examine the weapons from a distance to see if there's any writing or anything like that? Like some kind of to identify. I mean, I know I can identify. Do I know the history of the Warhammer of Laos?
I mean, you know what you saw on the walls. Do you want to see if you know anything more than that? Like, maybe you've learned a little bit in your past.
Can I flip through the journal? Let me try doing that first. Because I have the history.
Yes, you do have the History of Clan Laos book next to you.
Yeah. And
Okay.
yeah. So can I flip through that? See if there's anything about a Warhammer?
So there's not a lot about the hammer. So the hammer was found by Laos, and he declared that by having the hammer he was worthy. He gathered heroes to him using the hammer, and then smote down the enemies of the dwarven people with it and declared himself the new ruler of his own clan, which became Clan Laos. And they set up here as a enclave to act. So, like, remember that this is from the dwarven point of view. They act as the intermediaries between the Empire and Blingdenstone. They would meet Blingdenstone traders at the Shrine of Laos, buy their guilds off them, and then resell them on the surface for a big profit.
We're very good middlemen.
Yeah, so the book is kind of slightly more racist than that, right? It explicitly is like, our wise ancestors made great deals taking from the deep gnomes their foolish product and reselling it upwards towards the humans who would pay any price to acquire it. Yes, like Connor level racist. It's almost like dwarves are instinctively racist or something. They have a lot of pride wrapped up in themselves. As for the other sword, there's no writing on it at all. It's simply a mirrored silver sheath. The handle of it is wrapped in, it could be like black shark skin, like dyed shark skin that's been wrapped around the hilt very tightly.
So basically, it's a sword in a sheath.
The sheath is through the heart, yes.
Yeah, okay.
And the sheath is propping the whole body up, and he's trying to pull it out of his heart.
Man, that's one kick-ass sheath.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna, without touching the sword, I want to do visual inspection, just see if I get any other hints.
The sheath itself, despite the fact that obviously this corpse has to have been here for a while, the sheath is perfectly intact. There's no blood running down it. There's no bone dust. There's no dust of any kind or gore that would have had to have happened if you got stabbed through the heart with it. It is as perfectly reflective as a fresh mirror.
Okay. So, guys, I'm thinking, like, I'm all paranoid. I'm going to pull this sword out, but maybe you should get ready just in case.
All right, Rik-Jaxx, you're gonna grab it. I'm gonna grab. If you start going crazy, I'm gonna try and knock it out with my shield. Okay?
Wait, who has the hammer right now?
No one has the hammer.
No
one has the hammer.
We're gonna do one item at a time if we're gonna see how this.
Do them at the same time?
No.
Do it.
Look, if there's one thing I know is that when you're retreating from a situation, you should always run into an area you haven't explored yet.
Yes.
You guys laugh, but that happened on
101.
stream during a Pathfinder game once, and they ended up aggroing the whole dungeon.
Right.
It was a 7-person party, and one of them lived. It was wild. Completely. They were fighting underwater at one point as they were retreating. They were like
awesome.
in a sewer underwater. Several of them died from suffocation because they couldn't get out.
What game is that?
That was Emerald Spire.
Emerald Spire. Okay.
It was a fucking nightmare. Emerald Spire was one of the worst streams I've ever done. Definitely in my bottom 5. All right, so let me tell you what happens when you put your hand on that shark skin wrap. You hear a voice talking to you, Rik-Jaxx. No one else appears to hear it, but as you put your hand on the wrap, you can't move. You're like paralyzed. And the voice says, "It wouldn't be wise for you to do that. I don't think you're prepared to pull me out. I'm a god of death, you know. I'll destroy everything around you. I'm very powerful. Are you sure you want to draw me?"
Am I able to move?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to let go of the sword and let these guys know that as
Sure,
far
make
as I
up.
can
Whoa,
tell-
whoa. When you try to let go of the sword, moving's one thing. Letting go of the sword's quite another.
Okay.
Make a. I'm gonna call it a wisdom save.
All right, so I'm attempting to talk to them, but obviously something sort of
Oh,
cuts
the
me
talking
off.
happens. It's letting go of the sword that's the problem.
All right, let's go for it.
Yeah, you let go of the sword perfectly fine. You turn towards the party, letting go of the sword. You don't even know that anything was ever wrong.
I don't know.
Yeah, you have no idea.
Yep. So I'll tell these guys, you know what? This sword is sentient, and it
Wait,
claims to
you
be.
don't-
He just told you don't know that.
Yeah.
So I can.
No. He knows about all that stuff. What he doesn't know is that he had to make the saving throw.
Oh,
God.
He doesn't know that the sword didn't want him to let go.
Okay. Wait, your
Yeah,
sword
yeah.
talks.
Yeah, I don't know what would have happened.
Indeed.
What did your sword say?
You're not in the room, but
It says.
Yeah, as you can see his token behind you now.
Yeah, we moved out.
I'd be
Yeah,
surprised
so
if he
it's-
can
it's
see though, because he doesn't have any light sources. But
Bring your light sources.
Oh yeah.
what
So
does
I
the
observe-
light say?
All right, so I'll tell them exactly what the sword said, that it claims to be a god of death and that it will ruin everything around us if it's pulled out.
All right, I'm gonna say, listen, Rik-Jaxx, as the owner of one allegedly cursed blade to another, these things are dramatically overemphasized. I mean, god of death in a sword. If he was a god, would he be stuck in a sword? I don't think so. I'm gonna go over to the sword.
Okay.
Okay, Mortrick, be my guest.
As Mortrick walks over to the sword, the camera slips over into slow motion, and we get that Lord of the Rings Approach of the Nazgul song. Bum, 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 bum. As he reaches his hand out towards... For some reason, I assume he has fingerless gloves. Reaches his hand out towards the hilt. Do you grab hold of the sword?
Yeah, I do.
All right. You're frozen for a moment, paralyzed. You hear a voice in your mind that says, "You are a worthy possessor of my talents. If you opened yourself to the god of death, we could work together and bring all of your foes into a pile of blood and meat."
I mean, I don't really know if I have foes anymore, but hey, I have a question for you. Can I pull out my other sword with my other hand
Yes.
and be like, do you know what's going on with this thing?
It is a cursed blade, but nowhere near as dangerous as I, for
Like-
I am a great sword.
Legitimately cursed, or like, you know,
The
meh?
blood of its enemies runs over it. The fear and terror it has impacted upon the seas stinks sea salt and the guts of men.
Wait, so is it a better sword if I'm at sea? Like, do I need
No,
to
there's
get on a
nothing
boat?
magical about it. It's just cursed.
Oh,
I
it's
am magical.
Wait, it's cursed and it doesn't do anything?
That's correct. I do
Make
things,
me a
though.
better offer.
Pay more attention to me.
I'm sorry, what? Do you have a name?
I do, but you
I'm
are
not
not
gonna
yet
remember if you
worthy
are.
to speak it.
Oh, okay.
Should you carry me for a time and I judge you worthy, my soul may come to reside within you, and then we will become partners.
So I'm assuming, when I talk to the sword, do I have to speak out loud, or can I speak mind to mind?
No, you have to speak out loud. It's speaking to
I
you
have to
inside
speak
your
out
head.
loud.
So you've been babbling out loud, and no one's getting the other side of the conversation.
So can I talk? I'm gonna try to address the party then.
Your
Not
hand's
letting
still
go-
on the sword, right?
Yeah, not
You're still
letting go of
standing
the
there with
sword.
two swords.
Two swords up. And we're like, guys, I've got some good news and some bad news. One, I think my sword might actually be cursed. I've been a little denial about it, but I think I'm just gonna have to accept that and move on. I'm sorry. I don't know how it happened, but that's.
Don't worry, Mortrick. We've already accepted that.
We've
And
known
moved
that.
on.
The good news is I think I might be able to trade up, but there could be conditions.
And what conditions are those? Who are you speaking to?
I'm speaking to the sword.
You just got rid of one debt and you want to walk into another.
Oh, that is a very clever way to look at this. I had not. I'm like, listen, man. I'm talking to the sword again. I'm real sorry. I don't think this is going to work out. I just got out of a relationship that was pretty one-sided, and
Carry me for a time. I will judge your worth and you will judge mine. The next time you feel a surge of power, you can make a decision. Should you not be worthy, you will cast me aside.
Okay, so worth has me interested. You know, just give it to me in like gold. How much do you think you're worth?
I am a hexblade, a cursed demonic sword sent into the cosmos, an intelligent being of unlimited power. I will turn you from a wimpy spellcaster into a powerful and great sword mage, the likes of which will never be equaled in your realm.
I mean, like, I don't know that I'm in the market for that right now. I mean, sword mage makes it like does it sound neat? Yes. Does it sound like a lot of work? also yes.
Have no
So,
fear. I will do.
I'm
the
gonna
work
try to
for
let
you.
go of the sword.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm
You
also
can let
gonna
go
try
of the
and-
sword.
Oh, I let go of the sword?
Yeah.
And be like, guys, I don't think this one's gonna be a great fit for us. I'm
I
sorry."
think, guys, we need to. That's clearly. I mean, I heard something. I heard you talking there, Mortrick. I think we need to bundle that thing up and take it someplace safe.
I think, like, well, I guess if we open this up, it's no longer someplace safe. Can we
I
just
think you
break
made a
it
great
while we're
choice,
here?
Yeah, congratulations, Mortrick.
Can we just break it since we're down here? Do we
I
have to
think-
like move it?
We should take it to our master. He'll know what to do with it.
I fear touching it or taking it from its place might activate its
Yeah,
curse.
I feel like that may not be a great idea.
Even through some kind of cloth.
Is it
Uh,
magical in any way? Is the cloth magical?
I mean, yeah.
I feel
I'd
like
say,
an ordinary cloth wouldn't.
Yeah, I think talking sword trumps like dirty, torn up clothes.
I have vestments from I think these priests'
Hey,
blouse.
Runa, can you do your bird trick? Can the bird come down here?
We're underground, Mortrick. I doubt it knows where we are.
No, that's true. It'd be better if he was more of like a poof and there he is bird, but he's actually kind of like a shitty caw caw and he's got to fly to you bird. That's pretty
So,
Can't wait to see
Rik-Jaxx-
Mortrick go fly at some point. He's a real shitty, walk around, speaky human type.
So I'm in favor of pulling the sword out. We won't unsheath it, and because that's kind of our mission is to dispose of evil artifacts. And so far, this seems like it could be fit in that category.
Rik-Jaxx, do you know of any way to securely take away the blade without us coming into contact with it?
Has anyone touched the hammer? Can we use the hammer to destroy?
We're first dealing with the sword.
Because like that hammer looks like the hammer on the walls, right? So like it could also be magical. Maybe we need to use a magic hammer to destroy a magic sword, and we can just take care of this problem right now.
Mortrick, that could be Kazador. I have no way of knowing, but I'm thinking we shouldn't pull the blade out. So I'm thinking we should try to pull the sheath out of the wall and leave the blade sheathed. We
Yeah.
can still wrap it up. I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
So that's my 2 cents. What do you think, Runa?
I've already told you what I think.
You want to leave it here?
I say we destroy it now, or we leave it here. I don't think carting it around with us is great.
Cast it into the fire. You have this one chance to destroy all evil forever.
Kill me.
No.
So I'm gonna, with reverence, approach the shrine with the hammer.
It's not really a shrine, it's a pile of bones.
Pile of bones. Yeah.
What are
Okay.
you doing? You're not
gonna-
a member of the club.
Now Kazador begins
Rik-Jaxx
moving in
is
slow motion as
I'm
he
gonna try
reaches
and
his
get in
hand
front
out.
of
Bum,
Kaz.
bum, bum, bum,
There's like
bum,
a cut
bum.
to Runa, who's also like shaking her head in slow motion, like this.
I'd be like, are you a member of the club, Kaz? I don't think so. Rik-Jaxx is the one that opened the door. This is his hammer.
Oh, please.
Do you touch the hammer?
Yeah.
Kazador, you do your inspection.
All right. There is the sound of thunder for a moment for you, Kazador. And then everything around you freezes. Everyone around you freezes. You can't breathe because your lungs can't move, but you hear a voice around you say, "Who are you to take up the hammer of Laos?"
I'm Kazador Whiteknuckle, and I don't know if I'm worthy, but I would submit myself to your judgment.
We will sort through your memories. Make a
Kyle?
wisdom saving throw real quick. Okay, a 4. That's not so great. Well, the consequences of that will show up in a moment. Horrifying scenes of an obsidian rock and shadow detaching itself, of dwarves turning towards you in a shield wall and going, "Kazador, where are you going?" And then a knife through their head as they go down, and more dwarves are like piling in, and one of them's just like, "Coward!" and as he turns to point at you, he gets a spear through the back of the head. And then just memories of looking at alcohol over and over again. Just glass after glass, hundreds, thousands of glasses. And finally, your torment comes to an end, and the hammer says, "Perhaps you might be worthy to bear our grudges. Your heart festers with darkness, loathsome revenge and wrath. You would bring ruins to the enemy of the dwarven people.
I would.
If you would but add our grudges to the book within your heart, we will allow you to bear our hammer.
Who do you hate?
We hate the ones who destroyed us. The dark elves of Clan Shadowspinner. Swear to us that you will destroy all dark elves of Clan Shadowspinner, and we will allow you to bear us and our memory."
I swear it. I swear I'll destroy Dark Elves, Cloud, Shadowspinner.
Clan Shadowspinner.
Clan.
All right, so here's what happens for the rest of you. Kazador touches the hammer and then drops to a knee. He basically falls prone into the pile of bodies and begins vomiting wildly. But in the process, he's holding the hammer over his head while going, "Mwah!" His vomit smells like he's been drinking some very dank alcohol. Like, yeah, he's like vomiting it up, and there's way more alcohol coming out of him that could possibly have been drunk in the last few hours. No one has a stomach of that size. And after a few seconds, the projectile vomit stops. It's all over his armor, though, and it reeks. It's very rank. We're talking, it was like a fire hose.
Hey, Mortrick, clean him up.
Oh, that's right. If you have prestidigitation, you could just...
I do.
You wave your hand. The smell doesn't go away, but you get the alcohol off of him and kind of push it all into a corner.
I'll walk up behind him, kind of bend down over, and go, "Was it fun?"
When Kazador turns to look at you, his eyes aren't just bloodshot. They're completely red where it's not his irises.
Yeah.
So before I prestidigitize Kaz, like he is holding the hammer like up now, right?
Yes.
He has removed the hammer. So this hammer we've decided yes on then, huh? You're gonna stick with this?
Clearly he's picked it up. We gotta make sure he's okay
Look
though.
at yourself, Kaz. Kaz, just look at yourself. Take a moment to evaluate how you appear, and you're okay with this going forward.
Am I awake?
Yes.
Okay. It's nothing I'm not used to.
All right, that's good enough for me.
This hammer has given me a clarity about my past.
I'm gonna keep a watchful eye on Kaz.
That's fine. He probably
As we've
isn't being
probably
controlled by
had
any
some
weapon.
encounter with some magical items before.
Yeah. All right, so I think Rik-Jaxx will grab a roll of blanket from his pack.
Oh, Kaz, can you use your magic hammer to destroy our magic sword?
I don't even know. I just know that this hammer has given me a new purpose, but...
Sorry, you instinctively know what the hammer does. I just sent you a handout with the... It is a +1 warhammer.
Okay.
So it gives a +1 to attack and damage rolls made with the hammer.
Sweet. Okay, Rik-Jaxx will wrap up that sword and keep it sheathed, but try to pull it out.
Okay, so you're touching the sword again?
We need to destroy the sword, Rik-Jaxx.
So Rik-Jaxx, when you touch the sword again, you're not paralyzed, but the sword says, "You've been ignoring me. This is very upsetting. I will not allow you to bear me unless you will bring death to others. I am not some trinket for you to take and sell and pawn off. I am a god. You will do as I say, or you will grovel. You still try to pick the sword up?
All right, so without it doesn't. Yeah, I'll tell these guys what the sword just told me. Like, okay,
like,
I'm open.
Don't even listen to me.
Smash it, Kaz. Smash it. Smash it.
You try smashing it or try
You
taking.
got a brand new hammer. Don't you want to destroy something beautiful with it?
So this was
It
a
would be
half-elf.
unwise of you to destroy me, Deep Gnome. Release me and leave me where I am. But if you attempt to harm me, all of you will die here.
That's just something gods say when you're gonna give them up.
Well, only Rik-Jaxx can hear this, so.
Yeah. All right, so I'll pass it on to them.
Then I will
So
say,
I'm going to let go of the sword again.
I wouldn't worry about it. Gods are a dime a dozen.
So were you trying to pick it up with a cloth, or was that just your bare hands on it?
No, that was cloth wrapped around it.
Okay.
So it could communicate regardless. So we either take a swipe at it or we try to take it, but it's, you know, it's definitely threatening us. We have no idea if it's power level or anything, but
Yeah, I say we try to destroy it.
I'm gonna investigate this area over here.
Okay. So this appears to once again pass into being rough-hewn stone. It looks like someone was preparing to smooth all this out. They'd started like sandstoning it all down, but hadn't finished it yet. While you're here, there is someone who has tapped out Elvish runes. With a 17 investigation, you find them. Do you speak Elvish?
I don't believe I do. I think I just speak Common and Celestial.
Okay. You do find
Primordial.
very small runes that have been hidden behind a stalagmite.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to try and put my hammer to this sword if that's what you guys think. I'll try. Like,
So, if I cast Identify on the sword, would that? I want to cast Identify on the sword, see if it gives us a better idea.
Very well.
Of its capabilities.
Let me
How
look
long?
here.
How long does that take? Is that like an hour thing?
It's instantaneous, unless you cast it as a ritual.
Yeah, I want to ritualize it.
Well, then it will take 10 minutes plus 6 seconds.
10 minutes. Can I'm gonna kick that to the party. Do we have 10 minutes and 6 seconds to
Oh,
spare?
sorry. It's either 1 minute or 10 minutes plus 1 minute, so 11 minutes.
Oh, 11 minutes. Let me see what it says.
And you're going to have to tell us what kind of ritual you're performing. Going outlaw star style and being like, Pagawa Sampwa, Pagawa Sampwa.
Do I have to be a ritual caster to cast a ritual?
Yes, you do. You have to have the ritual casting ability to cast it ritually.
I don't think
I don't think bards do either.
Yeah,
I know
I
that
don't
clerics
have
do.
that.
It's
All right, so
something
yeah, I'm just gonna.
Okay,
do it.
it takes 1 minute to cast it. What is your casting thing here? It's verbal and somatic, and it requires some. It requires some
Something like
material.
that.
Do you have
Yeah,
the
so
materials?
I can't do it. I don't think.
Do you have
Yeah.
a pearl worth 100 gold pieces?
Do I have anything worth 100 gold pieces?
Probably
Does anyone
not.
have anything worth 100 gold pieces on them? Cass, let me borrow your hammer.
Do the runes on the stalactite correlate with the runes on the wall at all? Or
They do not. There are no runes here in this particular section, and because they're elvish, they look completely different.
yeah.
Yeah, so you could cast Identify as a ritual, but you're not a ritual caster, and you can't cast it regularly because you don't have the material for it.
So, all right, never mind. I said we just take a swing at it.
okay. So, I mean, right now it's still stuck in the half elf.
Yes.
So I'm going to, I guess, smash through the skeleton and try and cast the blade onto the ground with the hammer.
Okay, you easily do. The sword is slammed onto the ground.
Okay.
Where once the sheath was perfectly finished, there is now like a indentation mark, almost like someone dinged your car. The sword sheath begins rattling on the ground. Then it stops. Do you keep smashing?
You can't stop now, Kaz. Oh, wait.
What do you guys think?
I think you're an idiot.
I thought you were also in favor of destroying it.
I was in favor of leaving it.
Oh.
But sure, let's hammer the magical sword to death.
Go ahead. Do another hammer blow. Or I'm going to pick it up and we're going to carry it. So let's move on. So Runa's kind of picking a direction. We can follow Runa's lead.
There's nothing over here. It's a solid wall.
Nothing at all?
There's some elvish runes, but that's about it. I don't read elvish.
I read Elvish.
It's like I took 2 semesters of Elvish. The teacher was really hot, so.
I don't actually read Elvish, so.
I was just the TA for an elvish class.
I don't remember anything. Can I? I'm gonna make a rubbing of it though with my stuff.
Yeah. Well, Kazador, are you smashing this sheath?
No, I'm gonna leave it. I think we can circle back to it once we know a little bit more information. Maybe we'll get those elvish runes deciphered. But I think it's better to let it lie.
All right.
You know what they say, let sleeping swords lie.
Yep.
Indeed.
Okay.
Can you make anything of it, Mortrick?
Of the sword or the runes?
The runes.
No, but I copied them down. We can check later.
All right.
I mean, it might just be for a good time call, which, that's mostly what I saw.
Is this just another wall right here? There's no door.
Yes, no door, just a wall.
Right.
It ends in nothingness.
Great. I thought you took Elvish. You weren't able to read it.
I took 2 semesters. I was trying to impress a girl. About halfway through that first day of the second semester, I realized it wasn't going to happen, so I coasted. And by coast, I mean I failed out pretty fast.
I don't think your experience at your college's Mortrick has left me with much confidence in the human educational institutions.
I mean, it was like, a mid-province community bard college. It's not a lot to brag about.
Mid-province. Every time you say something about this, I write down more information about this place, but mid-province is really good. I want to point out they have an arc wizard there, right? They have an archmage, so it's got to be,
I mean, it's something.
It's probably it's probably part of a greater wizarding community.
Yeah, he is like a hometown wizard made good and then came back to give something back. It's only years later he's realized he hates the place he came from, but now he's too entrenched.
No, don't even write this story. No. That'll probably be Mortrick one day. Comes back to teach at that place and then ends up becoming like Dean of Enchantment. And he's like, I'm the least enchanted with this department. I wish I was adventuring again with my old friends.
It's gonna be that gym teacher that tries to teach science class.
Great times back in the caves. There was one time the dwarf said something racist.
I'm so old now, but all of my friends are young because their races live much longer than me.
Jesus.
I'm on my deathbed and they're barely out of their teens. That's actually one of the best adventures I've ever seen written, where a dude is like the only half-elven member of a party, the rest are all humans, and so they're all starting to die off, and he's like, oh shit, I just hit like my equivalent 40s, and they're all dying. I guess I need to go find eternal life. They had a bunch of cool magic stuff, plus I could probably use their bodies for alchemical research. And everyone's like, why are all of the old people from that adventuring party disappearing? Someone should go check with the last member and make sure he's okay. You show up and he's like, I have unlimited power, I would live forever. I was like, wow, this adventure is very realistic, man. I would fucking want to live forever if I had to use my friends' bodies to do it.
In a heartbeat. I don't like any of you enough to not do that.
What's that? Become a lich? All you have to do is kill a unicorn? No problem, man.
Sign me up.
Okay, since that was a dead end, I guess we'll go back to the.
So just to
room.
be clear, you're leaving the magical sword behind, but Kazador is walking away with the warhammer in one hand.
So,
Yeah.
to be clear,
Yep.
Runa, you found 2 dead ends and some elvish runes that we couldn't decipher.
Yes.
Otherwise, there's a cursed sword back here.
Yes.
Like, Kaz, I mean, I'm assuming that since you're a dwarf, you would know, but, like, what's the structural integrity of this hall? Can we, like, seal this off to at least delay some other idiot finding this sword and walking away with it?
You can try to reactivate the trap. Also, the door has a lock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Try
a locked
locking.
door. I mean, like,
Mortrick, do you have a dagger? I could probably carve cursed into the door. What's the door made of?
Stone.
so.
A dagger will not do so great at
Do
that.
you have any like
That's good.
chisels or anything, Kaz? Is there anything like?
Kaz has stoneworking tools.
Yeah.
Perfect. Kaz, you're up.
All right. So I carve cursed in common into the door, and then we lock it.
And in dwarvish.
Rik-Jaxx and
Like a little
Mortrick are trapped
fire.
inside forever.
No,
Are
he's
you
in top.
are you reactivating the trap, Rik-Jaxx?
Sure, I'll give it a go.
Okay.
Let's go.
I need you to make a thieves tools roll.
Actually,
With my mage ledger hand.
There we go. Because I was gonna be like, I can't wait for him to fail this and fuck it up, stab himself.
What'd you say, Runa?
I'm gonna back up to like here.
Wow, that's quite a distance. No
Yeah,
trust,
don't worry,
huh?
Runa. I think you're safe over there.
Wow, a critical success. Not only do you rearm the trap, you actually solidly wedge the door in place. And you manage to make the trap slightly more deadly than before.
Man, that's what it feels like to get a good roll. I love this game.
Hey, so did you put cursed in common on the door, Kaz?
Yeah,
Yes.
you can see it.
You want to put it in dwarvish too?
Well, dwarves are like Europeans. They all speak English anyway.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so, everyone speaks
Yeah,
common.
it's common.
Plus, there's no dwarves in this cave.
Haha, just kidding. The reason Undercommon is a language is specifically for this situation. That not all dwarves speak Common. Some speak Undercommon to talk to the other Undercommon races.
So was there a trap on this door on the left?
Nope.
No.
That door, that's the door that you came in through, and there was no trap.
Okay.
I have deep speech. There's not any cross.
I mean, I can hand Rik-Jaxx my stone cutting tools for him to carve Undercommon in.
That's correct.
You have
Deep speech is for like monstrous under races.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do it in undercommon.
Okay.
Okay.
It is clearly not as good work as before.
Hey now, hey. All right. So it looks like Runa's going to inspect that door. I'll inspect the iron door in the bottom.
Okay, the bottom right door is locked, right?
Sorry, deep speech is the language of aberrations, an alien form of communication originating beyond the realms of men. So you can speak to, like, Cthulhu. Or Tharder, as you know, the worm that rests beneath the oceans. The giant snake. That's
Yeah.
Hal's boy right there.
Yeah.
Represent.
I remember Thordak.
It's Thordak is the name of the Cinder King from Critical Role. Tharder is the name of the walking worm, the one that sleeps under the oceans. Runa, the door that you're standing in front of is a stone door. It looks like it's swelled in its sliding frame and will not move easily. Rik-Jaxx, you're standing in front of an iron door that appears to have been locked on the far side.
Okay.
So we can't get into either of those.
Check it over. You're confident that there are no traps here.
I freaking froze again. Damn it.
Well, we can still hear you.
Yeah, you know what? I might just do it this way. Because I don't want to delay the game anymore.
It's not a delay. Whatever you decide, we'll roll with.
Yeah.
Your face is in a very comical position right now.
It is, yeah. Not gonna
That's
lie.
good.
It's pretty funny.
No, but it takes me 10 minutes to restart, so I'm all verbal right now. Okay, let's keep going.
Well, we'll have a break in a few minutes, so.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to take a look at the other bottom left door. What was that again?
The bottom left door is a unlocked stone door.
Okay. Rik-Jaxx, do you want to pry this open and take a look around what's on the other side? Do you want to stealthily?
Yeah, let's go down there. So
Are you drawing the 1990s S gangster sign? Holy shit. Is that Kazador? He's a 90s kid right there.
Yo.
He's out here tagging the door for Clan Cursed. Cursed isn't a warning, it's to let everybody know that the Cursed brothers up in here. Welcome to the gang, fam.
My name's Kaz, aka Cursed.
Kazador Cursed does sound like a street magician name. He shows up, doves fly out of his sleeve. I'm Kazador Cursed. Welcome to Mind Freak. Sorry, Kazador, you said something, but then I ignored you and made a whole bunch of jokes at your expense.
I was just asking what, or no, we were waiting for Rik-Jaxx. He was going to open the door.
So I got a question on the skills. There's all those passive numbers. Are those actually used in gameplay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like passive perception. I'll let you know if you see something coming at you.
So I've got a passive investigation of 15. I'll go take a look at the door on the lower left.
Okay. Well, you actively. Oh, you said lower left, not lower right. Yeah, you move little Rik-Jaxx's token over there. You stride across the room. You look around. You don't think there's a trap on it.
Okay, so if I want to actively investigate, but how am I going to do that without rolling?
You'll have to roll.
I can't.
Someone can. I'll have to roll for you. I will open your character sheet and make that roll.
Yeah.
We will use the power of science to solve this.
Mm-hmm.
You should know that my luck is better than yours, except when it's not.
Yeah, but tonight I've been doing pretty good.
Great. I can't wait to fail this one for you.
Yep, thank you.
No problem. I got a 22. No need to thank me for my amazing roll. You are looking over the door that Kazador is standing next to you when all of a sudden you notice that there's some sort of elvish runes carved into the floor, almost trying to work their way into the stonework. And as you follow them up the doorway, you find a secret elven moon rune door. So in between where all of the dwarven sildry is, the door, some elf has like carved out a fucking door here, and you realize that if you just press on it, it'll open.
So a door within a door?
So there's a whole second door. Like you're looking for traps on the first door, and you're like, oh shit. Door. You find a secret door in the process, a second door further north from you, about 20 feet away.
Okay. All right, so I'll let the group know. I'm sure we're interested in what that one
does. I'm gonna take it over and see if I see anything that matches up to the.
You do. You see several familiar runes that look like several of the runes that were in the other message. It's not exact, however.
So I don't see that.
And the other thing is like a paragraph. This is instead like up into an archway.
Okay. Guys, I think this is Elvish.
Yeah.
I think it's.
I was thinking Belloc too.
Could be Elvish.
Do you say friend in Elvish? Melnock. That's right. Nobody here speaks Elvish, so you wouldn't even know to say that.
It might have been the one word Mick took over.
Yeah. Do I remember?
If you ever watch Community, they're like unicorn. I recognize that. It's a pronoun that's the same in every language. God, the D&D episodes and the paintball episodes were so good. Fucking good. Community was legendary.
So good.
Yeah.
All right, we've switched from an Old West into the Star Wars theme. Oh, did we get you back? We can see you again. You're moving.
It just bounced back.
Boom.
Yay.
That's how we roll, y'all. If you're patient, good things will come to you.
Is there a chance I remember, bits and pieces?
Make
from
a history check. I'm gonna set the difficulty at 15. Good luck.
Got this. Please, for
I
my
don't think
school
you do.
days.
You've only got like a 60% chance of passing this.
I never pass anything.
The Finns won't let you pass.
19.
You do remember the Elvish word for friend.
Brain blast.
I will say.
And you recognize that it is not represented anywhere on this door. You're looking over the runes and you do not see the rune for friend.
All right, I'm gonna go over to the door anyway and be like, Melno.
Nothing happens.
Door's broke, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I said the word. Door's broke. Won't happen.
Do I get like an eerie vibe from the door, or is it just like a door?
I mean, you can see the archway now that it's been pointed out to you. There's
Guys, how long
eerie
will it take
vibe,
you to
but
break
it is
down the
super
door?
weird to see someone having like carved an archway into an existing portrait.
Any traps?
Doesn't seem like there's any traps here.
All right, guys.
Kaz, how long will it take you to break down the door?
Have we even tried to push on it yet?
Nope.
Can we try pushing on it first
Yeah,
before we
as I
break it
mentioned,
down?
you believe that pushing on it will work.
Let's give it a push.
Okay, you try to push on it. The door sinks in slightly. The whole stone just like melds away, and then you can feel it gets stuck in place. The
must be
runes
on a delay.
briefly flare up with a blue light, and then gutter and die. It's clear that whatever magic formed this has run out.
So
You could break the door down easily by breaking through the wall with, I don't know, like a magic hammer, just a regular hammer, sledgehammer.
Kazador, you're up.
All right. I take out my old hammer and start,
This is gonna make a lot of noise.
Yep.
Well, we think the Zorn is dead, right? I mean, the Zorn is dead. Do we suspect there is another nefarious creature in here we're afraid of attracting its attention? Luckily, Kaz killed the innocent cancer bear earlier, so we don't have to worry about that.
right.
Can I walk up to it and try to channel a key point into it?
Yes. Make an Arcana check.
All right.
What interesting ability are you
You
doing?
push the force of your martial arts skill, your soul, your collective wisdom into the wall, and briefly, for one moment, you reactivate it. Make a strength check real quick. Then athletic strength. The door pushes most of the way in. The archway has partially dissipated. There's enough space that maybe your smallest member could get through. It is halfway open. So it disappears from the innermost part out to the archway, but only half of that gets done.
Mm-hmm.
What
It
about
feels weird
Kazador
for you
and
to
Runa
like
go for it at the
release
same
your
time?
key directly into just like stone and then have it be accepted. As this happens, what's your AC, Runa?
I believe it's 15.
An arrow fires directly through that hole. You catch it before it hits you.
Oh shit! I'm gonna go up to the gap and be like, Melma! Melma! Melma!
I'm gonna step to the side and say, "We've got company," and I'll throw the arrow on the floor. Either that or a really accurate trap.
So you can just step right through the door here and it'll take you to the other side. I forgot to do the settings correctly and have to delete like a whole bunch of walls in order to get this to go right. So if you just take a step through, you'll be able to see the other side.
Rik-Jaxx, there's just enough room for you to get through.
All right, let's go for it.
Right, you step through. As you do, your passive investigation immediately kicks off. You find an arrow trap set into the far wall. It looks like it's been triggered, so it's an Indiana Jones style hole. It just fired. You're not really sure what triggered it, but it did go off as soon as the door was partially opened.
Okay. And anything on this side that I can try to open the door a little bit more so these guys can get through?
Whatever magic was opening the door has completely... it's gone. Kazador could break through this door. Before, it might have taken a few minutes. Now it'll probably take like 4 swings.
All right, guys. So I can scout ahead, or we can take this door down. What do you want to do?
Why don't you try looking ahead first, and then once you see that it's clear, I mean, just make sure that there's nothing in the immediate area, and then we'll come back and we'll break this door down.
Okay.
I just don't want to wake up anything that's right here.
All right. I'm going in stealth mode. I guess. And let's go take a peek around the first corner. I'm going to put myself here, but I'm really looking around the corner.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you move there, you look down briefly when you hear a sound like a storm front, like a... You look down, and then there's a bright flash. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw as a trap goes off at your foot.
All right. For now on, I'm going to be
also, the following people also need to make a dexterity throw. The entire party.
Dex save? Okay.
Yes, dex saving throw.
There we go.
Mortrick is fine. Rik-Jaxx is fine. Kazador is not fine.
Mm-hmm.
Dex is on core stats? Yeah.
Yes.
Boom.
Wow, nice.
Everybody else is fine. Kazador reaches his head around the corner and is blinded temporarily and is like, ah! He gets screaming. The rest of you weather the force of this. But Kazador is like knocked into the air and is like, oh! And then hits the ground. It's weird because he easily outweighs all of you by like your entire combined weight is Kazador. But somehow he's the one that gets knocked into the air. Kazador, you are unable to hear anything for 2 minutes. And you take 8 points of thunder damage.
Yeah.
I think it was a trap.
What?
So Rik-Jaxx, when you pick your foot up, the base of your boot, there's a hole in the sole of your boot in the shape of what's now a blackened stone. It's kind of like a flat beach sandstone type object. What do they call those things? Like an empty shell.
Mm-hmm.
Sand dollar. That's the thing, right? Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Sand dollars?
Yeah,
It's like a sand dollar shaped blackened stone. There must have been a rune of some kind with magic on it carved there that blew up through your boot out into the hallway.
Oh, so door magic runs out, but trap magic is good forever?
Okay, so let's see. So I had rolled stealth, but I didn't do an investigation. So now I'm going to actively investigate this path.
I see. Good call.
Yeah. All right, let's see what that roll is like. All right, so...
As you peek around the corner, you find that there is an iron chest. And it definitely has a trap on it. So as you... I'm just going to move your character, even if you aren't there. At the end of this hallway right here, there's a fairly sizable wooden chest. You could probably fit a small person inside of it. It's a wooden box. It's got, metal reinforcements at all of the joints. It's got little studs everywhere. There's a big lock on the front of it built into the box to prevent you from opening it. But you look closely and you're like, I'm not gonna fall for this rune magic shit again. There is a very faint pink rune carved into it. And you're like, oh shit, is that pink? Is that pink? They're gonna try to fool me with pink? You're not sure what the rune does because you don't speak Dwarvish or Elvish, but it's there, and you know it's there, and it's a trap that you could technically try to disable.
How are we looking, Rik-Jaxx?
You guys, I think you should tear down that door because we've got a chest back here.
I'd rather not make that much noise for a chest, but we can try to maybe leverage it open. Kaz, help me out really quick.
Sure.
Can we try to move it as quietly as possible without
So
swinging?
there's no way to move the door. Let me try to see if I can draw it out.
So it's literally either break it down or...
Yeah,
leave
so the door looks kind of like this, right? And it's part of a wall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the center part of it has opened a smaller door, that looks like this. And the remaining part over here, here, and here is still in place.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's super thin, like the door has continued to recess as you put chi into it, but you know, it's like a 1/2 inch thick of stone that's kind of hanging in this archway area.
Yeah.
I can use prestidigitation to make noise. Can I use it to deaden noise?
No, thaumaturgy allows you to do that.
Nope, don't got that one.
That's because it's a cleric spell.
It's
Yeah.
also if you're a tiefling.
But can you use it in that opposite direction?
Yes, you could use the other D&D party does it constantly in order to prevent hangover noises. They deaden the area around them so that no one can scream loudly at them.
Practical use of the spell.
Yeah. They also use it to, whenever someone shows up out of fire, be like, I'm a great wizard! They make the fire go down, so it's super embarrassing. Somehow it keeps happening.
Nice.
It's really weird that is a thing. All right, Kazador, are you knocking the walls down?
Yeah. I start to knock the walls down.
All right,
You know,
yeah,
I'm gonna tell Mortrick. You know, between the bear and that thunder, it's really taking a bit out of me. What do you say you help me out?
What? You want my help, Kaz?
Yeah, I think
What?
so.
I would be happy to, and I'll put my hand on his shoulder companionably, like we've just bonded.
Are you gonna hand him one of the hammers?
Me? No, I was talking about his like heal, like a spell.
Oh.
I see what.
That wasn't clear to anybody.
It's not just about me, it's about my spell. I see how it is.
Yeah, that was fun.
That hurts,
That's the
Kaz.
most Mortrick thing you could do. Butter somebody up for a free heal spell. I'm pretty sure he's done that before.
And nothing happens. What's going on? Oh, here we go.
He's casting.
Yeah, okay.
14 points of healing. How are you feeling, Kazador? You feeling topped up?
Better. You know, could have been a little bit better, but you know, that's good. All right, I take my old hammer. Thank you, Mortrick. I take my old hammer and start chipping away, just enough to get us through.
With 4 mighty swings, you knock away enough rubble that you can get through.
With each of those swings, I want to use prestidigitation to do like a little flash, like directly into his eyeballs each time.
I mean, it's technically something that you could do.
What?
So prestidigitation is Gandalf's trick where he's like, Bilbo Baggins, I am not trying to rob you. It's that kind of cheap tricks.
Yeah. Cheap tricks.
I'm trying to help you.
This isn't helping me, Mortrick. But
What? I'm not doing anything. I'm just back here.
Mortrick's like,
waiting
I'm
for
not some
someone
conjurer
to
cheap
healing.
tricks. I can cast Identify. That's a very serious spell, okay? I'm an academic. Pew, 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 pew.
I don't see you identifying anything.
I don't see Mortrick identifying anything either.
Apparently need to buy some pearls.
I think you need some spell ingredients there.
They're called components. but I would
Rik-Jaxx,
make-
you've been waiting here for like 2 minutes while everybody fucks around.
That's true. So I'm gonna pull back as far as reasonable, use my mage ledger hand and try to pick the lock.
Interesting, fascinating. All right, you immediately set off the rune, so I need you to make a charisma saving throw. Kazador, what happens is you see Rik-Jaxx move back, he almost bumps into you, and then he reaches around the corner and he makes a gesture with his hand. All you see, Kazador, is a brilliant flash, and then Rik-Jaxx turns towards you. His eyes literally go like swirly signs, and he just like stands in front of you and goes,
Rik-Jaxx, you okay?
Does it make any noise, or does he just go?
There's no noise. You just see
Okay.
the flash.
You see the swirly signs in his eyes.
What is going on back there, Runa?
No idea.
So-
Probably just nothing good.
So is it? He doesn't react to me. So I'm gonna grab him.
As you grab him, you pull yourself back together, Rik-Jaxx. You were messing with the lock, and now all of a sudden, Kazador's in front of you. He's got his hands on you. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what happened? What happened?
I don't know. You just suddenly had swirly signs in your eyes.
Swirly signs in my eyes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the eye swirly signs are how you know that somebody's like incapacitated.
Confused.
Right, exactly.
And then
We all read Order of the Stick, right?
Pokemon manga. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'll shake it off. I'm like, okay, we're gonna keep going.
Okay.
So what was I? Was I confused or
You were
was I
incapacitated.
just incapacitated? Okay. All right, so Mage Ledger Hand, continue on that lock.
All right. Not even bothering with the trap, huh? Okay. Yeah,
as
make
the
your
trap.
roll, and then I'll have you make another saving throw.
Oh, it's an unlimited trap.
It's magic, my
Make
dude.
your roll.
Okay, the charisma one again.
No. Make your unlock roll this time. You know
Okay.
it's about to happen, so you give yourself a second to be like, aha!
Tools, thieves' tools, right?
I'm gonna stand back.
Yeah, pull me back if I need it.
Yo.
Let's do this.
I need you to make another charisma saving throw. Kazador, you go running as Rik-Jaxx. You see another flash. Oh shit! Rik-Jaxx, you're down for an hour.
Okay.
You get that flash. Rik-Jaxx isn't even standing up, Runa. He suddenly crumbles over and is drooling on the floor.
It's like a freaking photo booth over there, man.
Oh, photo booth, what? And then I'm gonna go in.
I'm gonna walk forward.
Note to self: disarm trap before lock. Okay, got it.
So as you move forward, Kazador, you can see the chest has his thieves' tools jammed in the lock. It's been left there while he's unconscious.
Oh, poor Rik-Jaxx. And I put him over my shoulder and walk out.
Okay, yeah, you haul Rik-Jaxx out of the room.
Yeah. I think he's out for a little bit, guys. I think we just need to hold tight.
Well,
Maybe we wanna
what's
look
the
at
box
the others.
situation?
What? What's the box? I think his tools are in the chest, but I mean, I can't get them out unless you want to try.
Well, like, there was dwarf stuff on the box, right?
Okay, I'll take a look at what's going on. But I mean, if I get another flash, I mean, you're gonna
I mean,
get.
don't touch the box. Just look at the box and tell us what you see.
Look, I don't know anything about that kind of stuff.
Do you know anything about anything?
I know more about these dwarf runes than you do. Apparently.
I'm gonna walk over to this area over here and see if I can hear anything behind the doors.
Okay,
Bottom right.
make a perception check. Kazador, as you look around the corner, you see the dwarven rune for hypnosis is carved into the chest.
Okay. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Can you just like scratch that out or something?
Nope.
Rona, you roll a 1. You're standing next to the door. You put your ear to it. You don't hear anything.
Okay.
Yeah, why don't you go over there and try to scratch it out?
Here, I'm gonna hand him a dagger. Scratch it out.
I don't know anything about magic. Why don't you go scratch the rune out?
No, you're there. You're a dwarf. I'm gonna be waiting
I
out
don't-
here. Let me know when you get it scratched out.
I mean, I really want to see your expertise in the field here. Let's see.
And I will finish picking the lock after you scratch out the dwarven
I
rune.
want to see you scratch. I mean, there's got to be a way that you learned this in college, and I want to see some of those years put to use. Okay.
Oh, so you're gonna bring the honor of the college and get the out of the way, you tiny dwarf bastard, and I will show you how this is done.
Let's see it. Go ahead.
Hey, for the record, I have to remember this, so it's my fault, but I have advantage on charisma magic. So
Interesting.
next time.
Okay.
Next time.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull out my allegedly cursed sword. I'm gonna like cover
There's
my
no
eyes.
alleging about it. It's 100%. It's been confirmed repeatedly.
admit it.
Multiple times, yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
cover my eyes
you even alluded to it being cursed.
and look away and like try to scratch it out without looking at it.
Okay. All right.
Goodbye, Mortrick.
Make a Make a thieves tool. You make it at disadvantage because you don't have thieves tools.
Okay.
Don't know what you're doing.
I'm
it's
just trying
just.
to scratch out the rune at this point.
I understand. It's just dexterity.
Just dexterity?
Yep.
Okay.
At disadvantage.
Disadvantage. All right. So I'll just click off save and do that.
Nice.
How'd you do? You got a 10. The difficulty to unlock this rune is not a 10. I have bad news for you. I need you to make a charisma saving throw. Your eyes are shut, but the rune appears in your closed eyes in front of you, like in your mind's eye. You feel it transfer up your blade. No, you're good.
Yeah. It's the most horrible thing you've ever. No, you're good.
When you look down, you realize that you failed to scratch it out. Your hand just won't move over it without significant effort. Want to try again?
I am going to try again.
Okay. Make another dexterity at disadvantage.
But he turns his head slightly, so he's looking with one eye.
Can I cover it with like a piece of cloth?
Yeah.
All right. What happens when I put does the cloth just lay over it fine?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm gonna sit in the middle of the room and meditate real quick.
Okay.
All right, and so I'm just gonna try and put the tip of the allegedly cursed sword over the rune, over the cloth. Over the cloth.
I understand. Make a at disadvantage dexterity.
Okay.
Now, you literally can't see what you're doing.
But like when I get the tip of the sword near the rune again, does it still?
Yep, it activates immediately.
Oh.
You're good. You save. Now the question is, sorry, you weren't saving throw. You're trying to destroy the trap. Nope, you fail again. Make a saving throw.
So now charisma save.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Kazador, after a few more tries, Mortrick eventually scratches out the rune underneath the cloth. It is tedious, and more importantly, it is embarrassing how long it takes him to do this. Removing the cloth, you've managed to add an extra rune to it. Kazador, he's turned the rune from a hypnosis rune into a private toilet rune by adding a K-like symbol into the rune structure. All of the magic exits the rune as it's unable to figure out what it's supposed to do.
See, and that's how it's done. That's how it's done, Kaz. That's how it's done.
I'm glad you spent the money on a college tuition and I didn't.
That's how I did it. Yeah, no, I'm really recent events have led me to believe that maybe my college degree was not worth it. I mean, if you have a minute, I kind of got some things I'd like to get off my chest about it, but we could just open up a box and keep.
Well, it's not unlocked yet. We have to wait for Rik-Jaxx.
Well, you have a hammer, don't you?
I'm not gonna. We gotta wait for Rik-Jaxx anyway, and he's gotta get his thief.
It's gonna be for another 2 minutes. That's how long it took me to scratch this rune out.
If I smash the box, it's gonna break his thieves' tools.
You can just pull the thieves' tools out.
Yeah, I pull the thieves'
They're not magically bound to the box. You can just pull them out.
Yeah, I pull them out.
They're just tools, guys.
Is it a padlock or is it an inset lock?
It's an inset lock.
Oh, don't smash it, Kaz. We don't want to smash what's inside. But I have Rik-Jaxx's tools.
Do you want to try to use them?
Can I hear all of this?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Well, you're meditating, so I guess the question is, how worldly are your meditations?
I'm gonna go out and wait for Rik-Jaxx to wake up.
From John Lennon to the Buddha, where are you at on the meditation scale?
What am I rolling for that? What do I roll for Buddha?
You don't have to roll. You just tell me, man. I want to know how deep Runa goes. Does Runa become a bodhisattva capable of reaching the entire universe with compassion?
No.
Okay, didn't think so.
Their voices are pretty much killing all of that.
Okay, you're trying to meditate, but you keep getting pulled out of it by. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Mortrick shrill shrieking.
Yeah.
Also, constantly setting off the trap over and over again. In the darkness, there's just flashes constantly.
I like it.
Rik-Jaxx is lying next to you, just drooling on the floor.
Snoring away.
Only in a D&D part. Oh no, you're awake. You're just incapacitated.
Oh, okay.
You're right there, Rik-Jaxx.
I'll go over and try to open it with the tools.
Okay. It will not open easily. Let me ask a question. Do you have a negative dexterity?
Let me give you an answer. I do not.
After many, many minutes of effort, you eventually get it clicked into place without anything breaking.
Okay.
It takes a lot of carefulness because the difficulty is 25.
Okay.
Inside, you find a whole bunch of shit. A number of gems. There's a bloodstone, 2 carnelians, a chalcedony, a citrine, a moonstone, and 2 quartz. All of these have dwarven runes carved into them. There's also a small but not inconsiderable pile of gold pieces, a much larger thousands of piece pile of silver pieces, and a even larger pile of copper pieces. There are also a backpack with 2 scrolls in it and 4 red vials.
Whew.
Yeah, I'll take all that except for the silver and copper and leave it for the guys.
Okay.
What'd you find there, Runa?
Bunch of supplies. There's some decent amount of coin left in there, about 1,000 silver if you guys want, and some copper.
So mark down everything that you're taking on your character sheet.
All right.
So you're taking the gems and the scrolls, the potions and the backpack?
Yeah, I left the copper and the silver pieces.
Okay, so you also snatch the gold pieces out. I mean, for the rest of you, you could clearly hear the clink of coin being counted up.
So, Runa, are you sure that's all that was in there?
Some medicine if we get killed. Some scrolls that Mortrick can identify, but other than that, it's just the gold and the copper and the silver.
I'm gonna check. I'm gonna. Do I believe him or not?
Make an insight check, Runa, because you are in fact lying. I'm gonna need you to make a deception.
Deception. Yeah.
Yep. 15 deception for Runa. 7. It's insight, but you still rolled incredibly low.
Yeah.
You believe Runa. You look at her and you just see trustworthiness. A stalwart companion who would die for you.
I believe Runa.
There's no deception in your heart. Mortrick, do you believe Runa, or do you want to make a roll to see if you believe Runa?
No, Mortrick.
You just automatically believe.
Yeah, Mortrick would never believe that Runa was not truthful.
Runa, you get away with all the gems and gold pieces.
All right. So Mortrick is gonna start splitting it up, and he's gonna split it up into 5 piles.
He's doing long division. Where's that 300 coming from? There's no 300.
Right, there's 1,500 silver. I realized I didn't.
That's true. You could break it down into 300.
I do hand out 1 red vial for all of us. I'll give Rik-Jaxx his when he comes
So
to.
when I get the money split up, I'm gonna be like, okay, so there's 300 silver, 460, 300 silver, 460 copper for all of us, and I'm gonna set aside a share so the next time we head by, like, I don't know, like Zorn Union or, whatever they use for
A
money
new wagon and a new horse.
then we can, maybe send something Hal and what's her face's way in case they need it. I don't know where they're at right now.
And you guys should mark down that you have 1 red vial.
Make sure everybody on their character sheet has their money, because when you go shopping, I'm going to say, what's on your character sheet? That's how much money you have.
Inventory.
All right, I'm gonna hold on to Hal's portion for now.
Gold pieces, so 8 plus.
You could also pour one out for Hal. He's probably having a very tough time with the princess.
So
She's a wanted war criminal running from a war that her people definitely started. He's a grandfather from the Apple Valley, just looking to get some adventure in their life. Let's follow their summer comedy sitcom as they travel across an empire looking to kill all of them.
I'd watch it.
And they've got to fight the zombies at the end.
Hal and the Druid.
If we make it to October, we can do that as our Halloween episode.
You guys would. You guys would what? Play the people watching the show?
Yes.
We'll do. Oh, we could.
People being in.
We could do a play of Action Movie World, and you guys could be the actors on the set of the show.
Yeah.
Action Movie World is wild. All right. After an hour, Rik-Jaxx wakes up.
Whoa,
Rik-Jaxx, you were in the middle of attempting to open that box, and now you're lying on the floor, and your mouth is dry. You have a red vial in your hand, and there's a pouch of coins in front of you. You're not even in the same room.
Yeah, what happened, guys? What's going on?
We just made a ton of money, man. That box was packed. There are also some like jewels and crap in there, but Runa's going to use those.
You don't remember the jewels being in there.
Oh, right, I don't.
That's because Runa lied about it, and you automatically believed her.
And some healing potions. Runa gave us one each.
You don't know that they're healing potions.
Yeah,
They're literally just red vials. The last time you guys dropped a vial, you started a zombie plague.
That's true. I'm just
But
saying,
these are nice red-looking vials.
Oh my god. I can't wait until you're hurt in combat and you're like, I'm just going to try it. I'm just going to go ahead. There's nothing. It could get worse from here.
Real quick, guys.
Oh, this is actual human blood I'm drinking that's been perfectly preserved. It is not a health potion.
But anyway,
Is there anything to know about?
There you go.
Do the potions look magical?
The potions
Are they potions?
Not only are they potions, you analyze the potion with a little bit of alchemical knowledge. You're fairly certain that while it's not the typical surface potion, this is familiar to you as having used blood of a monster. So rather than using like harvested life energy and tree sap, the people of the Undercities, like your people, use monster blood as the base for health potions. So this is just a regular health potion. It's going to taste a little different. It's going to be very irony instead of sweet. That's because it's made out of pure blood.
So he wasn't lying after all.
I told you, Runa would never do us dirty. It's a health potion.
So, let's take our break here. Runa would
Yeah.
never do us dirty. I love the idea of Runa goleming this pile of gems. She's like, yes! In the background, Mortrick's like, I trust Runa implicitly and completely with my life.
I'm like the mom who has to regulate their children's allowance.
Look, I've been preparing to make a magic item for my warlock in one of my games called a bag of scolding. When you put money into it, it prevents you from pulling out more than your weekly allowance.
Oh, yeah.
And it makes sure every morning you brush your teeth, you eat your vegetables at
Or it doesn't
dinner.
give you money.
Yeah, exactly. The bag of scolding. You can't steal it because it's my item and it's amazing. Speaking of something that's amazing, let's look at that BRB screen that we'll be back from in about 8 to 9 minutes.
So let's check it out.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, look at that screen. It's so beautiful.
So good.